Day 3 of Microsoft Ignite and the news keep coming. We've been busy catching up on the latest announcements to bring you the very best of all of them. So today is all about artificial intelligence in Azure. In particular, Satya Nadella announced the AI for Humanitarian Action in the keynote. New machine learning capabilities in Azure that lets developers train models better, Azure Cognitive Services updates including a new preview for text-to-speech or TTS, and then more guests. We talked to Magnus, Mårtensson and Scott Duffy. All right, let's get into it. We start with a feel-good story of the week. Microsoft is launching AI for Humanitarian Action, a new $40 million 5-year program that will harness the power of artificial intelligence for disaster recovery, helping children, protecting refugees and displaced people, and promoting respect for human rights. AI for Humanitarian Action is part of Microsoft's AI for Good initiative, a $115 million commitment to empowering people and organizations to solve global challenges with access to cutting-edge AI technology and educational opportunities. It's great to see Microsoft putting effort into making the world a better place. Azure Machine Learning helps data scientists and developers build and train AI models faster than easily deploy to the cloud or the edge. Significant new updates to the service announced this week includes automated machine learning to identify the most efficient algorithms and optimize model performance. And this includes a recommender system, which is a way that automated machine learning homes in on the best so-called machine learning pipelines for a given dataset. This happens in a similar way to how on-demand video streaming services recommend movies. New users of a streaming service watch and rate a few movies in exchange for recommendations on what to watch next. The recommendations get better the more the system learns what movies users rate highest. Microsoft's new speech service, which combines several AI speech capabilities into a single service, is now generally available. The solution bundles improved models for speech recognition, capabilities for speech translation, and the ability to customize models to create a unique voice. Also, a preview is now available for human parity text-to-speech, and with the human-like natural stress and intonation in a language and clear articulation of words, neural TTS has significantly reduced listening fatigue when you interact with AI systems. Yay, that's cool! Natural text-to-speech can be used to make interactions with chatbots and virtual assistants more natural and engaging, convert digital text such as ebooks into audiobooks, and enhance in-car navigation systems. The capability is currently available in preview through Azure Cognitive Services and Speech Services. I am here with Magnus Mårtensson. Was that right pronunciation?
That is correct.
It's not bad.
No.
Magnus is a regional director and MVP for Microsoft and has his own consultancy company that works with Azure, which is why we're talking to you.
That's right.
So, is that right? So what do you actually do with Azure?
So I do a bunch of things with Azure. I do what my customers tell me to do, basically, right? Well, it means that I work with the technology that fits their needs. So there's a bunch of things in Azure because there's so much that I've actually never worked with. But as a quote expert, I'm supposedly an expert in all of those. Not.
Yeah, that's not possible.
That's not even possible. You'd
No.
be like a savant or somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Well, okay, and that's why you're here, and we want to know. So, are there stuff that came out of Microsoft Ignite, which is where we are,
Yeah.
that is particularly interesting to what you do every day?
Definitely. They are doing a big revamp on all of the monitoring stuff. They're moving things around in Monitor, which I find is really, really helpful. This is a long-running ask from the MVPs that we've given them feedback. I'm sure they've received this feedback from many people, that there's so many sources of data and telemetry and everything. You got the stack, you've got from the VMs, you got from the services, you got from your application code and all that. Now, what Microsoft are working towards, which is a big thing to do, is to move that towards one shared location, so that all telemetry comes to one place and you can like index it and search.
Oh, nice.
So that is a very, very important thing for anyone who builds anything serious on Azure.
Yeah, it sounds like that. It's always been for me, it's like, we can just keep pumping data into Azure.
Sure.
But now we get into a point where, what do we do with all this data, right? So, is that what it's kind of aiming at?
Yeah, it is. It's so you need to be able to sort of correlate between things, right? If there is an error, if there is some problem, you find some error log that you have, well, how did the service react during that time? What was the CPU like if you had a VM? Or, you need to be able to correlate these several things between each other, right?
Yeah.
And so basically, the vision that we came up with now years ago, which is starting to really come through, is to have like this single pane of glass experience. You just walk to one place and you can find all your stuff.
Yep.
I think that is a very strong proposition for using specifically the Azure cloud.
Yeah, I agree. And if you are using the Azure stuff, you will have a lot of data usually, right?
Oh, you will.
So now the other thing that I thought we should just clarify, because I spoke to many people about your Microsoft stuff, and then you go, I'm going to talk to a regional director, and they go, what's that?
What's that?
So please explain, Magnus.
Yes, it's a funny title because it's officially the title is Microsoft Regional Director. I don't work for Microsoft. I run my own company, Loftysoft, right?
Yeah.
I don't work for Microsoft. I don't have a region, and I don't direct anything.
There you go.
So there you go. Now you know exactly what that is not.
Yeah.
Right. What it actually is then is it's about 160, I believe, regional directors. There's a site, rd.microsoft.com.
Yep.
You can find all the RDs. And we are very, very close to Microsoft, but more on a business and executive level. So we talk to and give feedback to and sort of bring back information from around the world to this channel that we have, where about 200 of Microsoft's senior management are also listening in. It's really good. We have a lot of momentum, a lot of opportunities to influence on a high level.
That's cool. So regional directors do not work for Microsoft.
No, we don't.
Do not. It's very confusing. Thank you, Microsoft.
It's like Microsoft regional directors, like what? Which region are you directing? It's like, no.
Exactly. Oh, that's cool. Thanks very much, Magnus, for giving us your time.
Thanks.
Look who I found. Scott Duffy. Welcome, Scott, fellow A Cloud Guru instructor. What are you doing here?
Well, I'm here like you guys. We're looking at all of Microsoft's announcements and everything cool that they're coming out. It's a wonderful time in Miami, Orlando.
Yeah, we're not in Miami at all.
No, it's almost in Miami.
So we know that you do Cloud Guru courses, but what do you do when you don't do Cloud Guru courses?
Great question. So my brand is softwarearchitect.ca, and so that is sort of where I'm building all my courses around. But luckily, you're able to find a lot of those courses on Cloud Guru as well for the Microsoft certifications.
Very good. Go check it out. Is there any particular announcement that has sort of piqued your interest that's come out in the last couple of days?
So I'm here particularly to find out about the training and certification changes.
Yep.
Microsoft has announced a whole new revamp of their certification programs for both Azure and Office 365, I think. I'm obviously focused on the Azure side of it. They're basically turning their certifications into role-centric certifications, even though you could have taken the 533 exam, which is infrastructure. It really was so broad that it's not a realistic depiction of what people do in real companies. And so I've been talking to Microsoft employees, attending all of the prep sessions and the announcement events and things like that. So all of that certification and learning stuff is super exciting.
So this is a huge event, obviously, Scott. It's like, what's your impression of Microsoft Ignite?
So I was so glad that I came. This is my first big Microsoft event. I've never been to AWS reInvent either, which I will plan to do next year. But first of all, the space is huge. I'm actually kind of liking it. I really enjoy meeting a lot of people, and the events themselves have been pretty good. It's a little overwhelming too. So I'm glad I brought good shoes. I'm glad I didn't go to too many sessions. I tried to pace myself. I knew this was a marathon.
Yeah.
So a great event. I would recommend coming if you're ever got the availability to go to an event like this.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Thanks very much, Scott. Appreciate the time.
Great to see
Cheers.
you guys.
That is all we have time for on this day 3 of Microsoft Ignite. We can feel the tech intensity in the air, and we are filling up our Azure tank with a lot of amazing new products and features. So today we covered AI for Humanitarian Action, announced by Satya Nadella in the keynote, new machine learning capabilities in Azure that lets developers train models better, Azure Cognitive Services update, including a new preview for even better text-to-speech, and then we spoke to Magnus, Mårtensson and Scott Duffy about their best announcements from Microsoft Ignite 2018. See you very soon again for more Azure This Week. Today, keep being awesome, Cloud Heroes.